Today, we're starting a brand new series called Secret Societies. We're about to embark on a 7-week journey where we will dive deeper into the origins of these societies and find out if they have any impact on real-world application in today's society. Hello, my conspiracy nuts, and you know exactly who you are. This is Byron Dice, and you're listening to Let's Get to the Bottom of That podcast, probably the best show on the internet, where each week I am joined by Mike and Jason, and we cover a topic that has been left out in the public square unattended and covered with questions from the official story. Today is episode 17, the Freemasons. So, my critical free thinkers, get your tinfoil hats back on, sit back and relax, and let's get to the bottom of that. Dice Man Enterprises exclusively presents a talk show that will get to the bottom of things once and for all. And now here's your host for Let's Get to the Bottom of That, 3 weirdos on a mic. Welcome back, my 3 weirdos.
Hello. Welcome back.
What's up, Jason and Mike? I'm your host, Byron Dice.
What's up, Byron Dice?
And this is a brand new year. It's 2023. We've made it through 2022. Our last episode was JFK. That was the last one of 2022, which has gotten some really good feedback because that was probably one of the top catalyst of conspiracy theories that has probably spawned all of the ones that we're going to talk about on this show.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It was a big one. And so welcome to the new year. Happy New Year. Hope your year is doing well so far. I hope you haven't failed yet.
Nope, it's going great, man.
Okay, so we time and temperature check. It is the 7th of January. It is 32 degrees and cloudy. And we're on a Saturday. Did I already say that? Yeah, it's 1/7. It's 12:46.
Year of the Rabbit, Chinese calendar.
Wait a minute. Are you serious?
Yeah, Year of the Rabbit.
Year of the Rabbit. Okay, interesting. And yesterday was, what, the 2-year anniversary of January 6th?
Oh, thank you for mentioning that. Yesterday was January 6th.
2 years?
J6.
Yeah, it happened on 2021, right?
Well,
Did it?
yeah, Trump 2020.
Oh, wow.
And then
Has
he
it been 2
inaugurated
years?
on 2021.
Jeez, that went by fast.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. By the way, we do have a January 6th episode in our catalog of all 17 episodes.
Yeah, check it out.
So go back. It's the number 2 in our list. It's called When We Almost Lost Democracy or something like that on January 6th.
Yep.
Shout out to Jason and his crew on YouTube. Today we are. By the way, did y'all like my trailer for the Secret
Absolutely.
Societies?
Well done.
I just
man.
put that together in a couple of days.
Yeah.
That's good. I like the clips.
I put that
Byron's
out.
a talented guy. He really is.
Oh, thank you.
He sounds
Thank
great
you.
on the mic, but like just the work he's doing
Just behind the scenes.
is
I'm
just out of control.
I'm trying to keep us afloat,
Yeah. He's
head
a
above water.
Yeah.
On this podcast.
Oh, we're doing fantastic.
Yeah. Hey, JFK. Like I mentioned last week when we did JFK, flat Earth blew up. Okay, so the topic was hot because we got lots of Instagram chatter.
Mm-hmm.
People are still chattering. That was probably the most heavily chatter I've had on any episode that we've done.
A lot of engagement.
Wow. And then yesterday we released JFK, and we have 11 hits already just in one day.
Yeah. That's on Spotify, too. That's just
Spotify. That's not including YouTube.
Yeah.
So what was YouTube? 24 plays out on YouTube.
Which is a lot for us in one day.
That is a huge number because it absolutely crushed the End Times. End Times had 11 plays in a week. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It is topic driven. I like the End Times. It was a great.
It's a
episode
fun conversation
because it's what we're living in.
Yeah.
It is.
But today we start a brand new series. We're going to go 7 weeks with secret societies, and today we're talking about Freemasons, or what's the other word? They had 2 words here. What is it here? Oh, Freemasonry or Masonry. Mm-hmm. We just call them the Masons.
Yeah, Masons.
That's what I call them.
Freemasons.
Do we have any other topics we need to clean up, or do we need to jump into this?
I think we're ready to jump in.
Yeah,
Unless you have
let's
something.
jump in.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Freemasonry. refers to a fraternal organization that traces their origins, and I'm reading this from, here's my source, Wikipedia, which is the most trusted site in America.
A Mason probably wrote that.
Yeah, they probably did. Traces their origins to the local guilds of stonemasons that formed in the end of the 13th century, but I believe you're going to debunk that. 13th century, that sounds like you're going to say that we're older than that.
Yeah, that's what they said.
It's regulated the qualifications of stonemasons and their interactions with authorities and clients. Modern Freemasonry broadly consists of two main recognition groups. Regular Freemasons insist that a volume of scripture be opening in a working lodge, that every member profess belief in a, quote, supreme being, and no women be admitted.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that.
Fraternity.
No women. And that the discussion of religion and politics be banned. Then there's the Continental Freemasonry. It consists of jurisdictions that have removed some or all of these restrictions. So it sounds like we got two of them that are like, you know what, we're going to stay strict. And one of them's like, you know what, let's let the women in.
Okay.
Because let's ban the whole stabbing of the heart.
Yeah.
And the handshake.
It's interesting stuff, man. It really is.
So Freemasons, I'll just go ahead and tell you my experience. My wife's father was a 33rd degree.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute, that's the highest, isn't
That's
it?
the
Oh,
highest.
I'm sorry, he wasn't 33rd.
Third degree, maybe.
I don't know, maybe something like he belonged to the Masonic Lodge where he lived, and I read a book. And he had the whole thing. He knew the handshake. He knew the brotherhood. He had the apron that they're supposed to bury you with.
Yep.
That'll get you somewhere. I'm not sure where the apron gets you. I think it's a lambskin.
Was the apron the one that looks like the Gmail logo?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's made of lambskin. For some reason, it has to be lambskin. And you have to be buried in it in order for you to go somewhere. Maybe the holy
higher
supreme
plane.
masonry of brick in heaven, something like that. So over the years, when I read this book of a guy that exposed all the secrets because he was inside and he talked about all the rituals. And when I would mention this to him, he would get really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this guy, I'm reading this book and I'm talking about the things that y'all do in secret. And he's like really uncomfortable, like, wow, that's true. And how did you know that?
Yeah.
And why is he exposing it? Well, anyway, I forgot the book that I read. But they burned his house down. They destroyed his life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he talked about all of it, including the ritual of when you get initiated, you have to bend on one knee and your pants has to be ripped. It's a left or right knee. I can't remember.
Yeah. Yep.
That has to be exposed. You have to bend down. You have to open your shirt and they actually puncture you.
Yeah.
And you're
right above
blindfolded
your heart.
too, right?
Yeah. You have a hood on.
It's symbolic for like dying and then accepting.
Yeah, I think so.
Accepting yourself into this organization.
Right. So Freemasonry's been around a while. This says end of the 13th century. Does anybody have anything on that's older than that, or where the origins came
about
from?
Solomon.
Yeah.
Solomon's temple.
Yeah.
Wow, that dude, the wisest guy in the
The
Bible.
wisest guy.
He should have known.
Universe.
Yeah,
He should have stopped it then.
And let's see, there's a history of Freemasonry Wikipedia page. We're not doing all our research just straight on Wikipedia here. Just
Right. People would be outraged.
Yeah.
If we did that.
But apparently, the architect of King Solomon's temple, Hiram Abiff, is considered to be one of the first Masons. But it also says in here that it's possible to trace Freemasonry all the way back to BC. Like Pythagoras and people like that being involved with Freemasonry.
Who's Pythagoras?
Haven't you heard of the Pythagorean theorem?
No.
Oh, it's
Have you?
Yes.
yeah, it's trigonometry. Go back to like high school
I
math.
failed algebra, so
Different thing, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, a squared plus b squared equals c squared for the triangle. That's Pythagorean theorem.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm dumb,
He's a
and
genius.
our listeners are smarter for you being
Wait, do you
here.
code?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
code.
there you go. That's
Oh,
what it
wow.
I write some code.
is. Yeah.
But yeah, Pythagoras, that's him.
Okay, so
Smart guy from way back.
Okay,
in
so
the day.
his name is now credited to what the equation you just gave me.
Yeah,
is
he came up with it.
Okay.
Yep, he did
So
a
what
lot of
did
work
he?
with,
So he was doing masonry work and making these symbols.
Yep, he was doing a lot of work with triangles, and triangles are a very strong shape that's used in a lot of architecture. So that's probably how he got his hands on it. But I don't know. He was alive a really long time ago. I don't know much about him. But
I don't either.
yeah, But what a lot of people will agree on is Freemasonry is known as the world's oldest secret society. A lot of historians who've done better research than what we've done today, they came to that conclusion.
Wow, that's pretty good. It's the oldest, and it's the first topic of our secret society series.
Yes.
Oh,
and
how about that?
So how'd that work out?
So
Holy Ghost.
Let's kick things off with a quote from JFK, because we just covered JFK last week.
Okay.
And we know what happened to him, right? So he gave a speech on April 27th, 1961, where he addressed secret societies, and I'll read some of that here.
Oh.
Okay, so it goes, "The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. Our way of life is under attack. Those who make themselves our enemy are advancing around the globe. No war ever posed a greater threat to our security. If you are awaiting a finding of a clear and present danger, then I can only say that the danger has never been more clear and its presence has never been more imminent. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned. No rumor is printed. No secret is revealed." John F. Kennedy. What is that, crickets?
Well, yeah, I think
We'll
he's
just
mad.
leave that there.
I think he's mad because he wasn't initiated in. They didn't let him.
Oh,
in.
you
He's like, man, these guys suck.
Dude, I wonder if he wrote that or somebody wrote that for him.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then the next day, he was shot.
Okay, so are we tying a Freemason back to the killing of?
I don't know.
Are we talking about somebody's secret society killed?
Well, I mean,
What about LBJ?
I mean, he could have very well.
What was he in? Was he involved in any of this?
So
mess?
I know a lot of
who?
presidents.
What? Who?
Wait, did I get the wrong name?
LBJ?
LBJ? Lyndon Baines Johnson?
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I was like,
Are you asking if he was a
LeBron
Mason?
James? I thought LeBron James? He's dead?
Yeah, he's missing. Looks like Kanye.
Have we
I was
not-
wondering
have
if
we
he
not
was
found
in. Huh?
Have we not found Kanye yet?
No.
He's still missing?
Yes.
Wow. Poor guy.
I think he's just hiding.
He might be just hiding.
All right. So let me see.
I'm wondering if he was involved, because we know the Bushes were in Skull and Bones, which is the topic. We're going to go over that in a couple of weeks. But
Right.
I wonder if Johnson had anything to do with that in a secret society going, hey, we need to take this guy out. He doesn't like us.
Let's see. I think Lyndon B. Johnson actually was a Freemason.
I think so too.
What?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
he
remember.
was.
I vaguely remember me hearing about that.
Yeah. Let me.
You think Freemasons, if they join, they can build their own house with stone? I mean, do they have that skill?
No, I don't think they have.
So they don't give skills for actual build.
No.
So that's gone.
They quote unquote build up men.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
But the actual masonry work, that's not required anymore. You don't get
that's a
those
thing of the
skills.
past. That's a thing of the
But it
past.
used to be.
It used to be.
Yeah, I'm sure it used to be, and that's probably where the name came from.
I wonder if anybody ever joins and they're like, so when am I going to get a trial and some seamen?
Yeah.
And they're like, what's going on here? I
This
got a
was a
robe.
trade.
I got this red cloak, and I'm walking around with this pentagram. I'm trying to build a thing in the backyard. Like, I want to cook some pizza.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
So yeah, a lot of U.S. presidents have been Freemasons. A lot of early presidents too. George Washington was one.
George was one.
Yep. A lot of the signers of the Constitution were actually Freemasons.
This is a
Franklin
good
was,
topic
Paul
because
Revere.
Yeah, this is a great conversation because you always hear the founding fathers were Christians. They had a biblical worldview, but then you got this Mason side of things.
Yep.
So what's going on?
So what you just said, they're Christian, right? So we'll get into that because if you're a Christian, you're not allowed to a certain part of
Right.
Freemasonry.
But so the Knights of Templar, they were tied to the Freemasons.
Mhm.
Were they like a segment that kind of like broke away?
Yeah, that's what I understand. So like you can still go through like all the degrees of Freemasonry and then pursue like Knights Templar after that. Some people do that.
And yeah.
Well, let's go through the degrees. Have we already done the origin? Solomon.
Yeah, so
that's,
I mean
that's one.
that's it at a high level. I mean, I'm sure if you
But it didn't get secrecy until when probably
it's hard to say when it got infiltrated because my assumption is Freemasonry started as just a well-meaning fraternity, and then at some point an inner group took the reins of control.
and you're only in by invitation.
Right.
Right. You can't just walk in and go, "Hey, look, I'd like to sign up."
It's not like it's
I want to build something.
Planet Fitness.
I want to I want to build something.
Yep. And I think pretty much everyone has seen a Masonic lodge in their town.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a few around here that I've seen. One is not too far from my house, actually.
Where is that at? Like on what street?
It's off of Holmes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, is it
in South Casey?
Oh, okay. There's one on Linwood and like Paseo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there's a few around
That
here.
one's huge.
Yep.
We actually had our Christmas party at that one.
Are you serious?
I didn't go. I
Interesting.
didn't go.
Christmas
Yeah.
Yep. So
at a Mason lodge?
Mm-hmm. Well, because a few gentlemen that I work with, they're Masons, so I'm assuming it only happened one time.
yeah.
And
Just when they shut it
Yeah.
down.
then they're like, we're not doing this again.
Yeah, and
I'm not bringing Christ in here.
some of the stuff we're going to dive into with Freemasonry, like you might know someone who's a Freemason. The stuff we're saying doesn't mean that they're like a bad person, because a lot of Masons are really good people, in their community. A lot of them are Christian, Jewish, whatever. But there's an inner group that we're going to be focusing on today that is problematic, and that's going to be primarily what we're talking about.
So on the surface, we've got this surface level Freemasonry that they donate to good charities. They have good things for the community. They're just doing good works. So it looks like it's not nefarious, nothing going on here. But then you're talking about there's a sub-level of the, quote, our series, Secret Society.
Yeah.
There's a secret thing that's going on.
So what Manly P. Hall said, and he's considered to be Masonry's greatest philosopher, he wrote that Freemasonry is a fraternity within a fraternity, an outer organization concealing the inner brotherhood of the elect. And he said it's necessary to establish these two separate yet interdependent orders, the one visible and the other invisible. So
What? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
I mean, that's what I would do if I was going to have a.
And that's where you get your recruiting ground from.
right.
The outer circle.
Mm-hmm.
That they just think they're, there for Christmas parties and whatever.
Hey, Johnny,
And
come over here. We want to tell you something.
Yeah, well, check this out. And they probably see potential in somebody that could probably be swayed
Yeah.
or keep a secret, or I don't know what's their plan.
Well,
What's the
World
purpose?
domination.
he
What?
Yeah, that's what I would say.
He goes on to say that the visible society is a splendid camaraderie of free and accepted men enjoined to devote themselves to ethical, educational, fraternal, patriotic, and humanitarian concerns. However, the invisible society is a secret and most august fraternity, and august meaning of majestic dignity, grandeur. Fraternity whose members are dedicated to the service of a mysterious arcanum, arcandrum, defined as a secret or a mystery. Okay, so that's from Stanley P. Hall, what's his name? Manly P. Hall. Sorry.
Yeah, Manly P. Hall.
Yeah, Manly P. Hall's book, which is called, let me see, Lectures on Ancient Philosophy.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And he himself was a Freemason. And David Icke is somebody who I'm going to be, he did a lot of research on this, and I was reading his findings. He's done extensive research on Freemasonry and has had the opportunity to interview some top Masons that have exposed kind of like what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And kind of tying into that Manly P. Hall quote that I just read off, he states that there's two types of Freemasons. Number one being a Mason who's unaware of certain facts regarding Freemasonry, And then number 2 is a Mason who knows the truth and is trying to keep the first type and the general public from learning about it. And this is known as an elite Mason, and they are actually Luciferian.
Ooh,
Okay?
Satan.
Luciferian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So if you are a Freemason and you're in there saying, I believe in Jesus Christ, you're a Christian, they are going to keep you in the first group forever.
Oh, the outer circle.
Yes.
Okay.
Because your job is to be misled by the organization and to make them look good.
Okay, gotcha.
You're
And
gonna-
your dues.
Yeah. You're doing the outward,
Appearances.
appearance of, you're going to be, volunteering at children's hospitals and stuff like that.
And that's why, that's why you would get pushback from somebody that would go to the Christmas party that's a
Yeah.
Mason, and you'd start talking to them about this inner circle
And he'd be like,
and
no,
stuff,
no, no,
and they're
no.
like, no, what are you talking about? We're doing good work. They just think everything's good
Yeah.
to go. I'm still a Christian. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, we save puppies all the time.
Right.
Right.
So there's those people.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
But is there any danger as far as the Bible is concerned about the people even in the outer circle?
is there any danger to them?
Yeah. Like, for instance, their soul.
Oh.
I mean, can you be a Christian and be in cahoots with an organization like this that's Luciferian,
Yeah.
unknown, and still be okay?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a great question.
Because, they don't know about it, right? So they don't know that they're, helping out an organization that has a Luciferian background.
Right. Well,
So-
like, for instance, I'm not a Mason. Are you guys Masons?
I'm not a Mason.
Okay.
I can't confirm or deny.
I'm going to shoot you. We're not Masons, but we are talking about the inner circle.
Right.
So, we kind of I think it's true. I think the things that people said that they do in the secrets are actually true, but you got the people in this out circle that haven't heard of this or don't want to accept it.
Yeah. Right. So,
Well, they just don't talk about it.
yeah.
That's weird, to me.
First rule, don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Fight Club.
And a lot of them are ignorant to it as well. They might have heard people talk about it, but they'll just be, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Trust me, I'm a 33rd degree Mason,
Well-
and I haven't heard of that. So, you don't know more than I do about it.
I read a lot of comments like that online. I've been in the organization for 17 years, and we do everything just for the benefit of humanity.
Yeah, he's in the first group.
Yeah, he's in the first
But
group.
do they have the secret handshake in the outer circle?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do. So
yes.
there is a little secret.
They give him
going
something.
on.
They go, here, you can have the handshake.
Yes.
So there is a little, because the Bible talks about it's not good to have secrets,
Mm-hmm.
keeping things in the dark. That's against God's.
Yes.
I can't remember the scripture. Maybe I'll look it up for next show.
Right. Let's continue on with. So
Yes, sir.
we read some Manly P. Hall.
Gotcha. And David Icke.
And that kind of shows, the fraternity within the fraternity. Now, he also has something here called The Secret Teaching of All Ages. That's a book by him. And Manly P. Hall was actually a 33rd degree Mason. And he says this, I hereby promise the Great Spirit, and it says Luciferge, which is spelled like Lucifer, except with F-U-G-E at the end. The Prince,
Luciferge.
yeah, Luciferge,
Okay.
Prince of Demons, that each year I will bring unto him a human soul to do with as it may please him. And in return, Luciferge promises to bestow upon me the treasures of the earth and fulfill my every desire for the length of my natural life. If I fail to bring him each year the offering specified above, then my own soul shall be forfeit to him. Signed, and then he signed his name in blood.
Sounds like a
What
terrible
the
deal.
heck?
Terrible deal.
This is Manly P. Hall?
Manly P. Hall. Yep.
That's a terrible deal.
That's a terrible deal. Wow.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you're saying the outer circle they haven't heard of this guy?
You're
That's
not
weird.
So if you're in the outer circle, unless you're doing, your own independent research on people like him and people like Albert Pike, we'll talk about Albert Pike. He's like the most famous Mason ever. They wrote about this in their books openly.
Yeah.
So you can find this.
Okay, so
It's like any organization that has, you have your appearances and then you have your secrets that you keep and what you're doing in the background. Example, Scientology, right?
Right.
For all their purposes, they're helping community. They're all about help building people up and stuff like that.
yeah.
But when you get down to its roots, there's a lot of crap that goes, a lot of crud that goes on. There's that one documentary on Netflix with Leah Remini from
where she exposed Scientology.
Yeah. Where she what show was that?
She was on the
King Queens. Yeah, like that stuff happens, and they all have the kind of the same template. So if this is the oldest secret society, of course these other cults and these other society groups, they're going to take from the playbook of the oldest one, which is
the blueprint is there.
The Masons.
I feel like in talking about the people in the outer circle, I feel like some of them could be, they know about it, but they want to keep it a secret. And that's one of the things, like, hey, we're going to let you in this. There is some stuff that you don't know about yet, but we want you to keep it a secret. And so maybe they are aware of it. I mean, they're like, no.
I bet there's some like that.
You know what I'm talking about? They're like, they haven't got to the point where they're in the inner, but they want to be.
Yes.
One day I'm gonna have the cloak and the red robe, and the pentagram. I'm gonna have that one day, but right now I'm helping St. Jude's out. I'm planting flowers, and anybody talks about it, I'm gonna squash it because you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's get into some Albert Pike stuff. So
I've heard of that name.
I mentioned him before. Yeah. So he was a brigadier general for the Confederacy, and this kind of ties into how the United States presidency has been, controlled by Freemasonry. Yes. So we mentioned a few minutes ago that there's been a lot of U.S. presidents that have been Freemasons themselves.
Right.
So let's dig into this individual instance of it. So there is a Christian author named Ralph Epperson, and in his book, The New World Order, Epperson quotes testimony given in March 1867 before the House Judiciary Committee by General Gordon Granger. General Granger related a meeting between himself, President Andrew Johnson, who was a Mason, and Albert Pike, the most famous of all Masons. General Granger reported, to his surprise, that President Johnson considered himself to be the subordinate of Albert Pike.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. This subordination is detailed in the oath the initiate takes during the third degree, called the Master Mason's degree, inside the Blue Lodge. This oath states, "I do promise that I will obey all summonses given to me from the hand of a brother Master Mason." Okay? So presidents who are Masons are obligated to take orders from their Master Masons.
Whoa.
Wow. AKA Beta.
Beta.
Yes. Yeah.
AKA the government behind the government.
Yep.
Right.
Shadow government.
The deep state.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And you'll see so many, like when you look into this, so many presidents have been Masons. So like, who are the people behind the scenes, the unelected Master Masons,
Right.
That are
calling the shots,
telling them what to do? It's shocking. It really is. So I really think, like, after doing this research, that the Freemasons have an unimaginable amount of control, probably, when you think of that.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere. The way that they're structured, where you have to, basically listen to whoever your Master Mason is, regardless of your position in the real world.
Just the name is weird. Master Mason.
Master Mason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
and when you kneel, you have to call them worshipful master.
yeah. We used to say, "What is thy bidding, my master?"
Yeah. What is thy bidding, my master?
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty
Wow.
crazy stuff.
It's kind of like a Sith.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
There's always two.
Mm-hmm. The rule 2. Wow. I hadn't
There's
thought
always
of that.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird, man. It really is.
So do you think so we're going to get down the next couple episodes with other secret societies.
Yeah.
We have, next one's going to be Illuminati.
Yes.
Is the Illuminati, just a thought, the deep state of the Masons? Like, that's their inner circle?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
And
that's a good question. Like, how connected are all these societies?
Because how big the Masons are and how long they've been around, wouldn't you wouldn't want another secret society competing with yours?
Mm-hmm.
True.
Right.
True. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So there can only be one.
There can only be one.
There can only be one. And so maybe all these other secret societies are just branches of Masons.
The oldest one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Because look at a lot of the symbolisms.
Yes. A lot of the
Look,
symbols.
Illuminati's got the triangle
Yep.
Yeah.
and the eye.
Yeah. Masons actually observed that as well.
Dude,
The all-seeing eye.
That all-seeing, that's crazy. That's on our dollar bill.
Yes.
Right.
That's
It's on the bill.
That's crazy.
In a
to me.
pyramid.
Yes.
And isn't the top of the pyramid separated? Like from the base?
Yeah, I think so a little bit.
It's like-
in its own little triangle.
You know what I'm
And-
talking
and
about?
Didn't you guys know that the structures of the building in Washington D.C., the roads they form?
Let's talk about that.
Dude,
because
we
I
gotta
used to
talk
live in
about that.
DC. I used to live in DC. And when you're those roads are so weird just driving on them.
Yeah.
Because you'll have this diagonal road. You come up to a road and it's this diagonal road coming at you. It's not square like it is around here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
It
intersections.
doesn't make sense, is what you mean.
No, it's like,
it
where did
doesn't.
why is this road like this? And then you look in an aerial view and it's a pentagram.
Yeah, it's clear as day. When you know what to look for, it's clear as day.
That's crazy.
And yeah, this is thanks to Pierre Charles L'Enfant or Le Infant. Yeah, something like that.
It's French.
It's a French name. He was a
Yeah,
Freemason.
thank you.
And he also designed the layout of the governmental center in Washington, D.C.
But that's their MO. That's their MO, putting symbols
Yeah.
in architecture structures around the world.
And you see them on the buildings. They're not hiding.
No. They
Yeah.
do it on
It's
purpose.
like, because it's the hey, the outer circle. Yeah, we built this because we're stone people.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they're not stone, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Stone
they got
masons.
that advertised on the Denver airport as well.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
You go to the Denver airport, there's a Freemason thing there.
No, there's
Can we
for
put
real.
that on the list to do that one show?
Yeah.
A Denver
Yeah,
airport?
I want that one.
Because there's
on.
there's a lot to talk about
There
there.
is.
Yeah, let me show you an image of it. I'll Google Denver airport Freemason. But
we really need a TV near we can just.
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie, pull it up.
yeah, you guys need to go to the Denver airport and I've seen this in person. They have it.
Really?
Yes.
It's right there.
Yeah.
What does that tablet say?
There's a lot of stuff here, but
If you look at this tablet, you're under our control.
what? It talks about a couple lodges that helped out with the construction of it.
Oh yeah, the outer circle.
Helped out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the outer. What's underneath? I don't even want to talk about it right now.
Yeah, but
That's another rabbit hole.
getting back to what Jason just mentioned about Washington D.C. being covered with Luciferian symbolism and Masonic symbolism, it's crazy. So there is a goat head pentagram that is just seeable on Google Maps.
Is that Baphomet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
Yeah, because if you draw the goat, it's the same symbols that make.
yeah, it's like the horn.
Can you pull that up and show Jason the
The goat?
where the White House is at the bottom of the upside down pentagram.
Yeah.
The White House is at the tip of the upside down pentagram.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah, and then the Capitol building is in the symbol to the right.
Right.
yeah. So I'll just
Yeah, for our viewers, we just pulled up.
Go to Google Maps.
Yeah, so what you'll see is a pentagram here. So DuPont Circle,
Mm-hmm.
Logan Circle, this one here in the
I see it.
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I see it.
Yeah,
oh
you-
my gosh.
Yeah, it's clear as day. So it just goes boom down to the White House, back up.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
You've never seen that?
No, I've seen it. I've seen it on a map where they highlighted it, but I didn't.
but
I've
you're
never
actually
seen
seeing
on
it. Yeah,
Google
yeah,
Maps
Yes.
is-
and you can see the United States Capitol over here has like a circle at the top, and then two legs coming out of it, which is, a compass.
yeah.
Which is what the
symbol.
Masons have. And then if you take these two roads and just draw them in there, that's the square.
Wow.
The Mason symbolism is right there. And
Wow.
for our listeners, I'll drill into that a little bit. So we were just mentioning a goat head pentagram. So if you just Google image what that is and then take a look at DC, you'll see what we're talking about. But basically, the top 3 points of the inverted pentagram are Scott Circle, Logan Circle, and DuPont Circle. And the weird thing about each one of these circles is they also contain 6 main streets that converge into them. So atop of this inverted pentagram, we can clearly see 666 depicted.
What?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so each one of those circles has 6 main roads coming into it.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
So, and
That's
then
crazy.
Washington Circle is the extreme left-hand point. Vernon Square forms the extreme right-hand point, and the White House is the bottom point. And the southernmost point of an inverted pentagram is considered the spiritual point, And the architect did this on purpose, and he intended to show basically that the government is planned to eventually be controlled by Satan.
Luciferian.
Yes.
Checks out.
Yes.
Checks out.
I mean, yeah, because look at today.
Look at
Yep.
Biden.
And when you look into this symbolism, a lot of people also say that the circles at the end of a triangle are also thought to represent the all-seeing eye, which is something we mentioned a moment ago that's on, our currency. You see the all-seeing eye at the top of the pyramid. So yeah,
That's so strange. I always wondered, like, why did they put a pyramid?
Yeah.
With the eye in it.
I don't think we have any pyramids in
it's
North America.
There's no pyramids here. Why did you put a pyramid
It's
on our
like
bill?
if you go to
All of it's symbolism, dude.
You go to Egypt and you have our Capitol building on there.
Right. Why would they have, the Capitol building on their dollar?
No, you wouldn't do that.
What is on their dollar? That's a good
right.
question.
Yeah.
CCP.
Right. The blueprint. Keep talking. I'm going to look that up.
So yeah, aside from the goat head pentagram that we just talked about, there's also a compass and a square, which is, the telltale sign of a Freemason. That's their most important tools. So like at the center of the compass is the United States Capitol building, and the two legs of the compass extend down Pennsylvania Avenue to the White House, and the other extends down Maryland Avenue to the Jefferson Memorial. And then there's also the square, which you'll see in Mason symbolism as well. The Freemason square begins at Union Square, with Louisiana Avenue forming one arm and Washington Avenue forming the other. And once you see this, you can't unsee it.
So for the listeners, go check this out.
Yeah,
Google
definitely
Maps,
check this out.
and you could see it clear as day.
Yeah,
Yes.
always check your own stuff out.
Yes.
Don't believe
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what we're talking about.
We don't.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And
We look it up just like you.
yeah, Masons, Luciferians, they're big into numerology and symbolism. And
Oh,
all this
really?
Stuff, big time. And they actually have the House of the Temple, which is the North American headquarters of Freemasonry. That's on 16th Street in Washington, D.C., which is located 13 city blocks north
I
of
did
the
not
White
know
House.
that.
Yeah, and to the occultist, the number 13 represents rebellion against God. And
Come on.
and is generally considered Satan's number. to the occultist, it's 13 city blocks.
I
north
didn't know
of the
their
White-
main headquarters
Yeah.
was actually in D.C.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I actually
That's some good research, brother.
I pulled that up on Google Maps and actually counted the city blocks. It's 13 city blocks. It's all of this was intentional. It's like you can't accidentally have all this stuff.
Right. How can you accidentally make this microphone?
You
can't.
You can't. It's impossible. So
Yeah, one coincidence can be a coincidence. 2 is a clue.
yeah,
3, that's intentional.
yeah, all this stuff, it's wild.
I want to know how. So I'm going to do some research. Probably can't do it this show, but I can talk about it later. Because I'm really conflicted with the founding fathers and the biblical worldview and the Judeo-Christian values that was supposedly written into the Constitution. Everybody was a Christian, but then you got this other stuff going on that's influenced. Obviously, D.C. was not built by a Christian.
Yeah.
There's no symbols of Christ. There's no symbol of God. It's all their symbols. I'm really confused about this
So let's put it in this perspective.
because the Puritans,
Right, sure.
they were true.
Sure. So there were a few reasons why we revolted from England, right?
Talk to me.
One was because what? Main one,
Taxes.
taxes. Second one was religious
Um,
freedoms.
Religious. Yeah, I don't want to. Don't tell me they couldn't read their own Bibles. They had to read from the church what they were given.
Those two incentives for people to come over here and revolt and stand against England, okay? Money and your religious rights, right? So if you were trying to set up a new government and you wanted the people to stand behind you, you'd have to have the strong reasons. So taxes and your religious rights. So when you set up a new government over here, hey, what do you want the illusion to be? Oh, we want this illusion to be like, oh, no, we're not like England. We're not like them where we don't have Christian values. Oh, we do. But do we?
Mm-hmm.
That's the illusion,
So what are you saying here? So the illusion is I have the freedom to take my Bible and believe. And
that's what they wanted you to see. That's what they wanted you to believe. That's my opinion. That's what
okay,
they wanted you to
yeah,
believe.
sure. We're
And-
weirdos on a mic, dude.
Right. That's what they wanted you to believe. But that's not what they were, and that's not what their intention was.
And who is they when you mention they?
The inner circle.
Are you serious?
That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Mike?
And who knows if the founders and the first presidents were part of that inner circle? They could have been part of the outer circle, being controlled by the inner circle. I don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting question. It definitely is. I'm
gonna have to do some research. I follow a guy. His name's David Barton, and he has a great website called Wall Builders. And he talks about all the historic stuff that founded our country. And I'm going to dig deeper into his thoughts and, why D.C. is like it is, and were the founding fathers, secretly, oh, I'm a Christian, but the backroom deals, give it a handshake,
right?
Whatever. And I'm, wearing a pentagram in my drawers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's all a trick or something.
Yeah.
I don't like to be tricked.
Yeah, you already mentioned that one guy who spoke out against Masons, right? Or was that before the podcast?
No, I mentioned it. I can't remember his name. I read his book where he basically exposed all the ceremonies. Yeah, because he was in the inner circle, and they basically destroyed his life. They burned his house down, ruined his marriage. But he talked about all the stuff, kneeling on the ground, your leg exposed.
Yeah.
And, hitting the heart thing and calling them worship of a master and the secret handshakes, all of that stuff he exposed in the book, and they tried to kill him.
Yeah, there was another guy like that too, Captain William Morgan. He was a Freemason who had a fallen.
Captain Morgan.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the alcohol is named after him, but it might be.
I would probably say so.
Yeah, he was.
Let's just say it is.
Let's say it is, yes. So he was a Freemason who had a falling out with his fellow Masons, and after Morgan announced his intention to publish a book exposing Freemasonry's secrets, he was arrested on trumped-up charges in 1826 and disappeared soon after.
Wow, 1826.
1826. And disappeared after his arrest, like he wasn't in jail, like they had no idea where he was. And they ended up finding his body, washed up from a river, and he was dead. They killed him. And it was believed to have been Masons that did this, who kidnapped it and killed him. But his book still came out. You can still read his book. I actually read a couple chapters.
Oh, really? What's the name of the book?
Let's see. The book on Freemasonry that he wrote.
I can't remember the book I read either.
It was called Illustrations of Masonry, and yeah, you can check that out online. There's PDFs.
Oh, they get really mad when you talk about their secrets.
They do, but yeah, a few of the guys like Albert Pike and Manly P. Hall, I mean, they're pretty candid in their own writing about what's going on in the inner circle. So I'm not sure why they weren't attacked.
Right, but they still hold the title of X degree Mason, right?
Yeah, Master Masons. Yeah.
And have they did they talk about? Yeah, we do the kneeling. You have to denounce Christ. You have to worship a supreme being.
Yeah, they talk
about.
So
that's no secret.
Yeah, they talk about being Luciferian openly.
So I wonder what the secret is. Like what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because all of our rites are out there. All of our secret stuff is. All the initiations, and yeah, we have an inner circle. All that's kind of out there, but there's still stuff y'all don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that stuff we're keeping secret.
Yeah.
Never know what your left hand is doing.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, I pulled up Egypt's money. It does have a pyramid on it, and the Sphinx.
The Sphinx.
A sphincter.
So yeah. And guess what? I didn't. Central Bank of Egypt.
Okay.
Everybody has a central bank.
Everybody.
It's all not real.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But anyway, yeah, it's called pounds.
Interesting.
It's called a pound. Just like Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean that's a 10 pound is, a pyramid. And I don't know what that symbol is. It looks like some kind of Euphrates rod. There's a couple of pyramids and then the Sphinx. And then the 200 pounds, there's some dude sitting here. Looks like he's naked. He's eating some, I don't know, eating some frog legs or something. And there's some other symbols on there. I don't know what it means, but yeah, why would we have a pyramid on our dollar bill?
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
That is so weird.
Wait a minute, don't we have the capital on it? I gotta look at our.
Yeah, on the reverse side, you're talking. Yeah.
Yeah, we do have a picture of the capital,
Is there
right?
some old guy in the front?
Yeah, some dead guy. Yeah, but that's funny because the Capitol is no, that's the White House. That's at the bottom. What are the White House or the Capitol on our bill? I gotta look it up.
On several different bills, there's different buildings.
Yeah. Yeah, weird stuff on the money, for sure.
Yeah, it's all symbolized. Let's see, Ben. What do you got on Ben? Oh, see, the all-seeing eye. Yeah, it is separated, and it's glowing.
And it's glowing.
We got Ben Franklin, the pyramid on the back, and they got the United States seal.
That's George Washington on the $1.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, so you have this great seal here.
Yes.
Yeah, say that's the American seal.
Yeah, and then the number 13 showing up a bunch.
Oh, look, here's Joe Biden on the dollar. What's going on here?
Sleepy Joe.
Luciferian.
Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, so a 32nd degree Mason actually shared some facts with David Icke about
Which degree?
32nd, so not
Okay.
a 33, but a 32nd. He James Walker, he shared some facts with David Icke about what you can see on the Great Seal on the money, which is the eagle holding the branch and the arrows and the pyramid as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
13 leaves are on the olive branch, 13 bars and stripes on the shield, 13 arrows are in the right claw, 13 letters in the E pluribus unum on the ribbon. So that's Latin that says something. I'm not sure what it says, but 13 stars on the green crest above, 32 long feathers on the right wing representing the 32nd degree of Freemasonry, 13 granite stones in the pyramid. The 13 layers represent the 13 Illuminati bloodlines. And
What?
And 13 letters in Annuit Coeptus.
Yep. Annuit Coeptus.
So
What does that mean?
I don't know. You'd have to see
Let's
what
look that up
E
real
pluribus unum and Annuit Coeptus means. But
Why don't we know that?
We should know that.
We should know that.
yeah, but the eagle also has.
I got it right here. Let's see. E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one. That's what it means.
Sounds like a cult saying.
Yeah,
Out of many, one.
interesting.
That is.
I don't even know what to say about that.
And
a mini one.
he mentions it should be noted that the eagle has 32 feathers on the right wing, but 33 on its left wing. So the 32 feathers representing the number of ordinary degrees in the Scottish Rite, and the 33 feathers representing the 33rd degree of Freemasonry.
But couldn't those those 13 symbolisms could be for the 13 colonies?
For the original colonies, yeah, that's what we're told in school.
Yeah, Jason.
Yes,
That's what we're trained.
that's what I was told. That's what I thought it was this whole time.
Coincidence?
Yeah.
I think not.
Annuit Coeptus is one of the two mottos on the reverse side of the Great Seal of the United States. The literal translation is he/she favors our undertakings.
What?
Why would you say that?
Is it
He favors our undertakings.
That is strange.
Who's our?
and he/she?
Yeah.
That's weird.
He and she. Wanted to make sure the pronouns are in
Yeah,
there.
I got the.
They knew that back then.
What about they, them?
Yeah, they're left out, man.
Oh, man, they're so mad right now. This dollar bill.
Yeah, it's transphobic.
Burn it. Burn it.
Yeah, dude. Do you guys want to talk about Stanley Kubrick too? He
Oh, wait a minute. That's the movie guy.
Oh, it's the movie guy. Oh,
The
yeah.
Shining.
Dude, we talked about him in the moon
You did.
landing episode.
We
I
sure
think.
did. He had all kind of symbolism about the fake moon landing.
Yeah, it's
I didn't know he was involved in Masons.
so. Yeah, his last movie actually. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it. It's got Tom Cruise in it. It's called Eyes Wide Shut. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
It's kind of a bizarre movie.
That is a really strange movie.
yes,
never seen it.
It is.
I'm surprised I haven't seen it.
It's about all the dudes in the mask and they have sex orgies and
Yes.
Sounds
and
awful.
you can only be invited.
Yeah. That's basically
You
the
can't
plot of
take
the
your
movie.
mask off.
Like Tom Cruise ends up, through
Wasn't he trying to uncover this because his wife got involved?
Tom Cruise's character?
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
not Tom Cruise, but his character, his wife got involved, and he was
I'm
wondering
trying
what
to
was
remember.
happening, and he got inside to expose it.
Because I watched the movie a few years ago. I remember he goes into like some bar or something and gets some hidden message and follows some guy there. And I can't remember exactly what his intention. I feel like he was ignorant about what was going to happen
I think
when he
so.
went there.
He wasn't sure, but everybody else seems to absolutely know what they were doing there.
Yes. And basically Stanley Kubrick, he's well known to be an insider who wanted to expose what he had learned about.
I did not know he made that movie.
Yes, about society's elite. So
Okay.
that was the intention of Eyes Wide Shut. And it's worth noting that Stanley Kubrick died of a heart attack shortly after the film's release, and that it got like basically no fanfare
What?
whatsoever. Well, yeah, we'll talk about the heart attack in a second. And in the movie, he depicted like bizarre rituals and a lot of symbolism that Freemasons use in their works. And this is an important fact here because like when he brought the movie to the studio executives, they actually forced him to cut out a half hour of it, and no one knows exactly what was removed from the film. But given the nature of what was shown in the film, we can assume it was pretty bad. And the reason that's an interesting point is because Stanley Kubrick, whenever he made like a film deal with these studio executives, he wanted full creative control over the entire editorial process. What he wanted in the movie stayed in the movie to the final cut.
Right.
This was the only time that was not the case.
Wow.
Yep. And it's also interesting because the ritual scene in that movie, which if you guys go watch that movie after this, was filmed in a mansion that was originally owned by Baron Mayer de Rothschild. So there's a name we're all familiar with, the Rothschilds.
Wow.
Yeah, the Mentmore Towers. Yeah, that's where it was filmed.
Wow.
Yeah. And a lot of people think what was shown in the movie that was cut out, if you kind of read into the conspiracy lore behind Stanley Kubrick and what he was trying to show, was an adrenochrome ritual. Have you guys heard of adrenochrome?
No, is that a drug?
It's a chemical compound that is produced by the oxidation of adrenaline. So when you are terrified and then somebody spills your blood, it's in your blood.
What?
Yes.
Wait. Say that again.
Wow.
When you are terrified,
Okay.
your adrenal gland is pumping
Expresses
adrenaline into your blood.
Right.
And then it oxidizes into adrenochrome.
Okay.
And when your blood is spilled, it's in your blood. It's rich with adrenochrome.
So let's just say we're frightened. Now we have that pumping through our blood.
Yeah.
And,
I want to get that blood from
right.
you.
And so then you cut me open right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now my blood is filled with that.
Yeah,
Adrenochrome.
it's filled with adrenochrome, and if you drink it, it is like a drug.
Hey.
And
Really?
and it supposedly has longevity benefits.
Really?
Yes. Particularly if the sacrifice is a child.
Oh my God.
What?
Yes. Yep. So these adrenochrome rituals
I
is
just
where
threw up in my mouth.
they will.
I'm terrified right now.
I know they will.
Cut him open.
No.
They will perform a human sacrifice, and as soon as the blood is spilled, they drink it, and then they just go crazy. Because it's
that makes sense. I mean, look at the Mayans. That's what they did.
Yeah.
And they would go crazy after.
Now, wait a minute. So, how do you terrify a child?
well, I mean, the kid's probably super scared because they're blindfolded.
Now, we're talking about a child. What age are we talking about?
I don't know.
We're not talking about a baby, right?
I don't know. I don't think so. But
I don't.
Because you would have to get somebody to have the mental capacity to get terrified.
yeah, right.
A baby, I think,
Yeah,
they're just,
it wouldn't have the wherewithal.
no. But a child, maybe
yeah.
like an 8 or 9,
4.
10-year-old.
4-year-old.
Yeah, like an elementary school kid probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could
4-year-olds.
terrify them quickly
Yes.
and then get their blood,
Yeah. And
drink it.
And drink it.
Here's what I'm confused about. If drinking the blood with Omicron, and, did I say that wrong? What is Omicron? Is that,
Wait.
did I say that wrong?
No, you said it right.
Is it Omicron?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
No,
you're,
it isn't.
No, you're talking about the virus, right?
No, I was talking about the blood.
Oh, but you're talking about Omicron, right? The
No, I
No,
misspoke.
he was. He was. I know what he was doing.
Adrenochrome?
adrenochrome.
Okay, adrenochrome. I said Omicron.
Okay, I
Sorry.
thought you were about to tie COVID into it somehow.
No, but hey, now that you're there, we could probably connect the dots there.
Okay.
But why instead of drinking it, why don't you just get your own fear and pump your own blood with it? See what I'm saying?
So you know how like when you're scared, you kind of get that weird feeling?
Yeah.
It's like that except way more, I guess.
Yeah, because it's in your stomach.
Yeah, and it's like a kid. I don't know, because
Yeah.
like you can be more scared when you're a kid. I remember when I was scared as a kid, it felt way more intense, right?
Right.
So I think it ties into that.
Have you you're reading this obviously. Have you
Yes.
seen any evidence of these people going crazy or on this drug?
So David Icke has actually talked to people that have been at these rituals, and they say that it's like once the blood is spilled, they just go nuts. Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
So
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, yeah, it's heavy stuff. We're talking about blood rituals here, like Luciferian blood rituals.
So are we talking about Freemasonry right now?
Yeah, because that inner core of Freemasonry, they're Luciferian.
So we're talking about blood,
Yeah, we're talking about
sacrifices.
Yeah, we're talking about Luciferians right now, and those inner Freemasons are also that.
That's deep right there.
Yeah, so I mean, you could be a Luciferian but not be a Freemason, but the inner group of Freemason, they're all Luciferian.
Oh, gotcha.
Square rectangle.
So they're all together. They're in a group.
Yeah.
You could be Luciferian, but you're out on an island by yourself.
Yeah,
You're not going to get very far.
You're out in Jeffrey
Yeah.
Epstein's island
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, and I'm sure some of the people that like get invited to these things, they're neither. Maybe they're just like a pedophile and they're super rich,
Which is huge.
yeah,
In
Which-
LA.
yeah, which we've learned. They're even that seems like it's tied into the Lucifer stuff because like that one Balenciaga photo shoot or whatever they had.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they had
what?
Yeah,
Dude, that was ridiculous. I had to go. I read the article, and I'm like, no, this can't be real. This can't be real. And then I went to go look at the photos, and I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, dude. There's like 10 things in the photo that all tie to like pedophilia and like
Why would you do that to a baby?
yeah, weird, super.
And
weird.
everyone's okay with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, everyone's okay. And then they kind of act like they kind of shift and act like they're not okay, but then they don't really be outraged about it.
mm-hmm.
Like the Kardashians.
Yep.
They're going to keep wearing their stuff.
Yeah. And they're in the photo shoot, they spelled Balenciaga like Ball, like ball. You've heard of that, right? That's like a
No.
synonym for like Satan,
Yeah.
basically.
Ball?
Yeah, Ball. That's like another. You know how like there's a lot of different names.
You mean like Beelzebub?
Yeah. Yep.
Ball.
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
Ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
They spelled Balenciaga Ball and then Enciaga.
Yeah.
I did not.
On like a caution tape looking thing that said Balenciaga, it was spelled that way.
Yeah, because it's usually Baal, but then they
Oh,
write it into
gotcha.
their name.
Yeah, none of that stuff was coincidental. It was on purpose because you saw one of the things they showed was the paperwork documentation on the table.
Yeah, like a Supreme Court case about child porn or something. And
Yeah, why are you photographing that?
yeah. And then like some artist who has like naked kids is like what they paint or something. I
Yeah.
can't remember the name of the artist, but I mean, you can.
And then that crazy pit. I don't know if that was a real baby in our arms, but it was covered in blood.
Yeah, weird stuff.
I don't know if that was a real baby or not, but that's weird.
Yeah.
And I did read somewhere where the photographer that was doing this was like, he didn't know what he was getting into, but he still took the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But he was kind of being blamed for it. But he was like, he was like, no, I want to be separated because I was just doing a job they were telling me to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was them. They were telling me to. They set all this up. I just clicked a picture. They were giving him crap about it because he was involved, but he was like, I'm not involved. But still, at the end of the day, if you saw something like that, come on,
Mm-hmm.
either turn it down or not. Don't
Yeah.
take the picture. Don't take the photos.
I don't know.
Take another job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like you'll hear a lot of people make jokes about adrenochrome too. Like if you see like a celebrity like all of a sudden like age really fast. I saw like in the comment section on some like Jim Carrey videos because it looked like he aged quite a bit over like a course of like just a few years, and people are like, what happened to Jim Carrey?
Because he stopped.
And people are like, they cut off his adrenochrome.
Oh my gosh, that makes sense now.
Yeah. So he
Some of these people that look older,
Like vampires.
you're like all of a sudden adrenochrome.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
If you're
Yeah.
drinking blood, there's vampire stuff going on.
Yeah, if you ever like Alex Jones was talking about this forever ago because like you've probably have heard the soundbite that we're controlled by pedophilic vampire elites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what he means by like the vampire part, the adrenochrome.
Yeah, not actual, I'm dead.
Yeah, they're not like
and
Nosferatu.
I'm right.
Or-
they're
or-
not like that. Nosferatu.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so it's heavy stuff. I mean, we're talking like Luciferian blood rituals here, so that's tied into that inner core.
Wow, you just tied it all back. You went real deep, and I wasn't expecting that at all. I was just talking about a handshake and a kneeling down. You're up there talking about drinking baby's blood and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's weird stuff going on with society's elite. Like I've seen pictures where they're like cutting a cake and like the inside of the cake is like bright red and the cake looks like a baby. They do weird things. Like like a normal person
They're
would be
so
like, "What?"
weird.
It's super weird.
I don't see. I think we're using the wrong word. Weird. It's
Really?
crazy.
It is crazy.
It's crazy. It's
yeah.
insane.
Yeah,
To even like,
It's anti-God.
it is.
I don't even think you need to be any form of religious or have any form of faith to realize
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? That's
I wonder if
I'm
that's
lost for
tied.
words.
I wonder if that's tied to. Well, you're talking about the cake too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Katy Perry did a video where she was a cake, and they were cutting her and eating her as she was sitting singing on the video.
Yeah.
But it had symbolism of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They eat humans.
Yeah.
we'll see.
It's in pop culture everywhere, sprinkled around. And I think that documentary that you shared with us a while ago, I can't remember what it was called, like Out of the Shadows or something.
Yeah.
Remember that? Was that it?
Right.
Where they talked about Katy Perry, actually, about how she was basically like a nobody, like her career was going nowhere, and then all of a sudden she just picked up steam like immediately. But like, there's all this symbolism in her videos and stuff.
Yeah, she started actually. She grew up Christian.
Yeah, her parents,
She started as a Christian artist.
Isn't her father a pastor? He was a pastor?
I think so.
Yeah.
And then she quickly found out that she could not get to the fame level that she wanted staying on the Christian scene. So she went a different direction.
Yeah, and they gave her a big push.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huge push.
Yeah.
See, and that's the problem. And I don't know if this has anything to do with what we're talking about, but that right there, when Jesus said the gates of hell will not prevail against the church, he was talking about a specific place. So where are the gates of hell located?
The people.
The gates of hell are located at the top of all these institutions: education, family, government, business, media, arts and entertainment. That's where the gates of hell are located. The church is supposed to storm the gates of hell and influence. See, that's the problem with the church. We've sat inside our walls thinking people are going to come to us and we're going to change them. We're supposed to be going and storming the gates of hell. And that's a great picture of that. Katy Perry. She surrounded herself with the wrong people and went to the top of the gates of hell in that industry, that particular mountain. She didn't have, and what Jesus called the church was ecclesia. Ecclesia in that time was a group of members around a governmental figure. So Caesar had an ecclesia. He had a people that surrounded him and gave him advice, counseled him. That's what Jesus was saying when he said the church.
Yeah.
That's the term he was using. So when he used language like that, people knew what he was talking about.
And speaking of this, it's interesting that whole verse, that whole dialogue had so many different meanings. I just found out, this is off topic, but I just found out a few months ago that when he was saying that, and he was saying that to his disciples, they were in a location where the Greeks would worship their gods, and when they did that, they had built an altar or like an area where they called it the gates of hell, and so it was an altar, and it was a little entrance, and so the Greeks would say that's the gate to Hades, right? Because they believed in all those weird things, right? And so when he was saying this to disciples, was saying it to them and looking at the gates, and but he was above the gates, and he was saying the gates won't prevail.
Right.
Like this won't happen.
We'll storm them and they will get demolished.
He was making a declaration of what they knew, like physically where they were at and what that meant to the Greeks and to the Jews. It was very interesting.
Right.
Wow.
So to my point, when Katy Perry rose to the top, if it matters, what will hook you at the bottom of the mountain will hook you when you get to the top. So for instance, if she had surrounded herself with an ecclesia, people that counseled her, mentored her, and was with her all the way from the bottom to the top, she would have been a completely different person. She would have been able to influence the gates of hell at the top, and she would have had a different story. But since she didn't, that's where because everybody in the world is going to be discipled by somebody.
Right.
By something. And it depends on who you're going to get discipled by.
Yeah.
So her rise to fame was completely, it was avoidable, but and you can look, that's just one person. Look at all of them
Yeah.
that decide to go that route. They don't have an ecclesia around them to protect them as they go up the mountain and try to storm the gates of hell, because when they get there, they can't destroy the gates of hell. They enter the gates of hell.
Right, exactly.
And they're a part of it.
And that could be a fun episode in the future, just talking about, celebrities, like where they started and where they ended up.
Yeah.
Because Katy Perry's definitely not the only example there.
Oh, no.
But yeah.
Well, that was my point, was her traveling up to the gates of hell and where they're located.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's all I got on Freemasonry right now. I mean, big shout out to David Icke. He's obviously on the Mount Rushmore of conspiracy theory for a reason.
He's been there for years.
He's done great research in a lot of these topics, and it's just very interesting to learn about all this stuff. There's obviously more on Freemasonry that we'll continue to learn about. Maybe there will be a part 2 in the future, but that's our start to this series.
I think this was a good start. The secret societies. This is a big one. I didn't know a lot of the stuff that would. I knew that stuff was going on, but I didn't know it was tied to the Masonry.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is a great start to our series, Secret Society. The Freemasons, yeah. If you're a Freemason and you have disagreed what we're talking about the inner circle, outer circle, hey, give us a shout out, dude, and let us know, hey, if we can answer any questions. You can email us truth@bottomofthat.com, or you can go to our website, bottomofthat.com. Leave a comment on one of our blogs or one of our podcasts. I'm not sure what the question of the week will be.
We'll come up with something.
Not sure right now. Or the Q&A. Maybe I'll mention all the degrees.
Yeah.
And I'll say, what's the top degree or something like that.
Oh, I guess one last thing. I didn't tie together the heart attack that Stanley Kubrick had.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was thinking they got him with the heart attack gun, which is a CIA thing. If you Google that, CIA heart attack gun.
Heart attack gun?
Yeah, it shoots a little ice pellet with pufferfish venom in it.
What?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's a secret society in itself.
Yeah.
See ya.
Wow. All right, dudes. Make sure you go and hit the follow button on Spotify, and then click the bell. You'll be notified when we release new episodes. Hey, tune in next week. You might hear Mike say,
secret societies run the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.